Hello, dear friend. You are watching your weekly horoscope for June 28th through July 3rd. This week, there are two important aspects that will define the energy and the atmosphere through the week. Both of those aspects include Mars. There will be an opposition with Saturn and a square between Mars and Uranus. Those are very important aspects because they are triggering the more important square between Saturn and Uranus. This aspect between Saturn and Uranus is quite long. We are having it on and off through the whole year. And of course, the slow aspects are very important and they define like a background atmosphere. But when faster planets trigger the slower planets, they are triggering also the potential and the energy of those slower aspects. So, what Mars is going to do this week is trigger the very important topic, which is kind of like defining for the whole year. And that's the one between Saturn and Uranus, the square between the two planets. So first, Mars will start with an opposition with Saturn. It's exact on Thursday, the 1st of July, and it will trigger the signs Leo and Aquarius. Of course, Uranus is also in a fixed sign. Uranus is in Taurus. So overall, this whole combination can be more important for the fixed signs. Those are Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, and Scorpio. For those signs, those energy can be especially powerful and triggering. And every other person will feel this energy in different life areas. So if you're not a fixed sign, it doesn't mean that you won't feel any of those energies. But if you happen to have an intensified fixed energy in your chart, maybe your sun or rising sign are in a fixed sign, then chances are you will feel this energy even stronger. And first we need to define what does the square between Saturn and Uranus mean, because that's the foundational topic. Mars is just triggering or activating this energy, but the foundation is actually Saturn and Uranus. And the important thing is that both of the planets are representing different needs. Saturn brings the need for stability, certainty, and keeping things the way they are. On the other side, Uranus is about innovation and change and improvements and also unexpected situations. And obviously, we have a huge conflict between Saturn and Uranus. If we look at mythology, even there, we have a real conflict between Saturn and Uranus. So, the point here is that the two planets are not friends with each other, and they are also having a square on and off through the year, which means that they are in real conflict. And it means that more or less we will feel pulled in the two directions. The need to keep things stable and have some kind of certainty, and maybe the need to slow down. And on the other side, the need to innovate and change and move forward and make things happen fast. So those two energies can be pretty intense. And what Mars is doing this week is that it triggers the two planets also with challenging aspects. As we said, the first one of those will be the opposition with Saturn. On the 1st, on Thursday, we have this opposition between Leo and Aquarius. Mars is also kind of its own archetype, and Mars is also very impatient, very sometimes reckless and impulsive, and bringing lots of desires to do something on your own and take action and feel courageous. But the opposition with Saturn can also trigger some kind of discomfort because we may feel like we cannot express what we want. We cannot do things as fast as we want. There could be some delays. We may feel restricted. And here, a very important theme is also triggered by the signs, Leo, Aquarius. Those two signs represent our individuality, that's the Leo energy. And on the other side, the community, that's Aquarius. So in certain way, we may either feel not really accepted by our community or like we are being restricted, our freedom is limited in certain way, or we have to do everything on our own, and it's difficult to feel like you really belong to a peer group or some kind of community. And of course, every aspect also has a positive manifestation. And Mars and Saturn, as much as they can be challenging when they are in opposition, they can also bring incredible strength and motivation to keep going and to insist on whatever you want to accomplish and to work even harder and to overcome whatever you need to. You just keep going in the important direction. So it's possible that for some of us, this might be very motivational and it can bring the needed consistency and ability to do whatever it takes. But keep in mind that through the week, you really need to be very, very careful and not take some reckless decisions or impulsive decisions, and also to keep in mind that things will require more time. They will require patience, and also you really need to deserve the results that you want to accomplish, because the truth is that Saturn doesn't bring gifts out of the blue. If we don't deserve something, Saturn won't give it to you just like that. But that's my favorite part. If you actually deserve some kind of result, if you have worked really hard for something, Saturn may bring some delays, but eventually you will get your results. So the point here is that you may not see those results immediately. This week may feel like it's a struggle, you are doing so much, and you maybe don't see the results as fast as you want. Keep going. Eventually, you will find and get those results, of course, if you deserve them. But don't get discouraged if you don't see immediate results. Saturn is testing us. Saturn loves to put us through a darker phase when we may have some doubts, we may hesitate. Was this the right decision? Should I follow my own desires, or should I follow what other people want and kind of like go in the direction that everyone is going? This is a very typical question when Leo and Aquarius is a triggered axis in the sky or in your chart, it doesn't matter. So to find this sweet spot and actually decide what's more important, to express yourself individually or to feel like you need to belong to some kind of community. And there is no right or wrong answer. Everyone has their own path. And for some people, success will come through doing things in their own way and kind of like being the black sheep or not really accepted by others, but that's just their way. And for others, it might be quite the opposite. They need to be part of a group. They need to do something with a social impact or something that's important, not just for them, but also for their group, for their community. And that's how they can succeed. So you may ask yourself, which is your path? Do you know the answer? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Both is fine. But this week can really trigger the theme. And once that we have handled with this Saturn Mars opposition, we will get to the square between Mars and Uranus, which is happening on Saturday, so a couple of days later. And this is a pretty dynamic aspect as well. Mars and Uranus have more in common than Mars and Saturn. So that's good. But when they are together and when they also have such a dynamic combination of energy, we may make things too much, or we can be too impulsive, or we may overreact. And the desire for freedom, for doing something different, for innovating, for just getting out of the box can be extremely strong. So, after we have felt probably during the week or around the middle of the week, like the energy is a little stuck and things are quite slow, towards the end of the week, so the stronger the energy of Mars Uranus gets, the more we may want to do something different. And that sometimes might be great because you may get yourself to do something that you have procrastinated, something that you know is important, but maybe you don't have the courage for. So, this aspect can bring the needed motivation and like impulsive energy, which can help you, but this may also be too much. And especially if you are someone who's generally more impulsive and you know that that's not like the best thing in your chart, like your ability to have some self control, for example, then this Mars Uranus square can make things too intense and you need to slow down a little bit, maybe consider things before you make some final decisions. And of course, also be careful. Be careful when it comes to financial decisions, when it comes to some kind of creative expression, and when it comes to also being committed to your own desires. Because Mars is in Leo. Mars is in Leo during the whole week and for the next couple of weeks. And overall, it's a strong, comfortable position for Mars. It's a fire sign. And the main focus is how do I express myself? How can I be independent? How can I stay true to my own desires? And desires can be such a motivator when Mars is in Leo. But at the same time, Uranus triggering the Taurus energy may also bring maybe some kind of fear around material stability, or we may decide that we are ready to sacrifice some of our stability in order to be more committed to our desires. That's also an option. So, overall, it's a pretty rare, pretty interesting combination. And we are actually having a Tau square during this week. Mars, Saturn, Uranus together in a Tau square in the fixed signs. So again, that's pretty intense. And we may also consider what is generally the Tau square bringing. So a Tau square, or this triangle configuration with three planets that have difficult aspects with each other, well, this is from one side a configuration that's bringing some limitations, some blockages, overall some challenges. But that's very important also. that this is a combination or a configuration which brings incredible strength and motivation to keep going. And even though many people feel kind of scared or feel bad when they hear that maybe they have some challenging aspects, the truth is that those are the aspects that bring success. Most successful people actually have more of those challenging configurations. So, of course, it won't come out of nowhere. Of course, you have to work for that. But such a Tau square is giving you enough strength and enough motivation to keep going. And overall, one of the key topics here is first of all, desires, and second of all, consistency, because the tau square triggers the fixed modality signs. And those are some of the main qualities of the fixed signs, that they are related to our desires, what the heart really wants, and also they are the most consistent. And yes, it's true also that we may find ourselves in a situation that may feel like is lasting forever and we are really stuck there. But this is also a great time to use this energy and navigate it in the direction that we want. So, in other words, in each area of your life, do you need to stay more committed to your own desires? What do you really want? And also, where do you need to be more consistent? This is the topic that you need to explore, and those are the areas that you need to focus during the week. And the results might be surprisingly great. Again, it won't be a gift, it won't happen out of nowhere. It may feel like you are constantly leading battles and fighting and working really hard, but eventually things can coming to a totally different level. So that can be quite exciting, I believe. Okay, and let's just mention a few words about each day of the week and the moon position so that you know what is also the emotional atmosphere through the week. On Monday, the moon is in Aquarius half of the day, and then the second half it's in Pisces. So we may have a significant shift. The first half of the day can be quite exciting and more active and great for socializing and communication. And the second half of the day, the energy is lower, it's more creative. It can make you also more sensitive and more emotional. And that's also continuing on Tuesday and Wednesday. The moon will be in Pisces during those 2 days. So it's a great time to either relax a little bit more or listen to your intuition, focus more on something creative, and take care of your emotional well being. On Thursday, together with the exact opposition between Mars and Saturn, we also have the moon in Aries, which can bring a strong desire to do something, to initiate something, to be more independent, to feel more courageous. And at the same time, this Saturn opposition may kind of like keep us down with our feet on the earth and working harder and being more patient. So it may feel like, that those energies are so strong. And yes, it's true that emotionally it can be more overwhelming, but if we use it creatively, the results can be amazing. So Thursday and also Friday, we have this Aries moon energy, which is great also for doing something and being more active. On Saturday and Sunday, the moon is in Taurus. So that's also pretty interesting because it accentuates the Uranus energy. And on Sunday, we have an exact opposition between the moon and Uranus in Taurus. And Saturday also happens to be Independence Day, the 4th of July. And I find those coincidences so interesting, so special, because on Independence Day, we are going to have this exact opposition between the moon and the planet of independence, Uranus. So, this is great because we have a collective theme triggered. Yeah, it's for the US, but I think that most of the world also knows about this day, and generally, many people are honoring and thinking about this topic. What is independence? And when this is like, part of the collective energy, you can imagine this like the aura of the earth is full of this energy because many people are thinking about this. And this is a great time also to tune into this energy. If you want and need more independence in your life, that's a wonderful time to maybe make some kind of ritual or to be more specific. What exactly do you want? What does independence mean for you? And what is it that you need to do to have more of it? So, from that point of view, Sunday can be a great time to explore, to find new directions, and also to be more inspired. So, that's this week. Very intense, very interesting. The Tau Square is very special. I hope you will find a creative way to use the energy. Let me know in the comments, how does it feel for you? And do you feel maybe more triggered by this Tau Square? And also, if you have any questions or if you need more information, you can check the links below for the different readings and also the courses that we have. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time.